that one of the hardest things is for us to realize that just because somebody or something is drawn to you does not mean that they are going to value you correctly. Listen, I know that some people are going to actually pursue a connection with me. And I also know that some people are just pursuing me because they want access to me. And those may not be the necessarily the types of people that I want, or they're not the same thing either, right? Those two are not synonymous. And I think as women, we're not taught that as much, and we're not taught to be as discerning in those areas, whereas we really really should be, right? We really really should sit back and watch and pause and um, look at the behaviors of people that they bring to us. And I don't think that this is just with a mate, but right now I am mainly talking about mates, friends, lovers, but this could be jobs, this could be places that you live, like knowing when something has too much access to you versus you having your boundaries and you receiving something because it's something that you want. I hope that I'm making sense for you guys, right? But like, okay, so for example, when I was younger, I literally used to approach all my relationships just from like a super place in sincerity. And I'm not saying like that I'm a liar or anything now, but I just genuinely used to believe that if people cared about each other, they were naturally going to just take care of each other, and they would naturally just love each other and protect each other, one another, right? And do what's best for one another. And as you grow, you quickly learn that that's not always the case, right? You learn that sometimes people have their own agendas, and whatever, that too is okay. This is why I tell people like to focus mainly on you and what's inside of you, because you can't control other people and their agendas. Okay, all you can really control is you and what's going on inside of you and what feels good to you and what is it that um you like and what are you accepting, right? Because going back, like, I grew up very open hearted. I grew up in a type of community where there was a lot of um just openness. So as I grew older, like, I automatically just assumed that, sorry you guys, my face is, I don't know, I'm just fidgety, but anyways, I just assumed that there was like this mutuality between people, like I was saying earlier. Like, oh, if I treat them nice, they'll automatically be nice to me, thinking that attraction um, meant that someone cared about me. Like, oh, that they, and it was like, that's not always the case. And I had to learn and sit back and watch. And it helps that I'm a Libra and I was able to weigh both sides and see and listen to everyone, right? Like, it wasn't like I was taught this in Jehovah's Witnesses too. Like, there was a difference between hearing and listening. And sometimes we hear people and we hear what we want to hear. But are you really listening to what they're saying? And listening is more than just words. It's their behaviors, their body language, and realizing, like I said, as you grow, that people pursue different things. Okay, some people are going to pursue you because, yeah, they really fuck with you. I remember there was this meme back in the day that said, like, do people fuck with you because you're beneficial to them or because you've beneficial, right? Like, you just a real one and they fuck with you. And you know you'll come to find that a lot of people are fucking with you because you give them some sort of validation, or you give them, like I said, some sort of comfort, or even, this is a big one I've had, you provide some sort of fantasy that they have, or your energy, they want to drain it, right? They like to suck you dry. Okay, they only want you right now because of the energy you have. Once they get you and they fuck your energy up, they're not going to feel the same way about you. And you guys, this isn't like a message about bitterness. I promise it's not. This is a message more about using your discernment, okay? And not allowing yourself just to be conquered or your energy just to be pursued because some people literally absolutely just enjoy being around your light and they have no intention of protecting you. And like I was saying, it's not your job to worry about the others, it's your job to worry about protecting yourself. So this is where it comes down to people that have access to you versus people that are going to be intentional with you. And this is, one of the things that I really teach. We go through with the focus guide, being intentional. And the reason it's important, even with just you on your day to day, allowing yourself to, let me see, allowing yourself to take the time to, like, okay, you know how they tell you, like, write down 3 goals. It's not bullshit, you guys. Like, when you get the things done, you get further quicker. Okay. Versus if you just wake up and let your day happen to you. And I know a lot of people think that that's freedom. And it is in a sense, but you guys, like, literally, we work in cycles. So I'm not saying that you have to be super structured, but having some sort of intention and purpose throughout your day is really going to help. And it's the same thing with relationships. You want people in your life that are intentional. Does that not mean that you can't be spontaneous or fun or things like that? Yes, you can. But you should be that way with people that have earned it with you, not just with anyone. Okay. Um, People that are giving you mixed signals and vague communication, they don't deserve that. They don't deserve your spontaneity. They deserve your strictness. They deserve your rules until they prove, like, oh no, they're going to treat me well. And I think a lot of times we don't do that. We just give it up front thinking that they're going to treat you well. And no. Okay. So this isn't about being mean, but this is about you having your boundaries. Um, you know, are they looking to you just for sexual or spiritual chemistry without any effort? That's not normal. It's not okay, right? You don't have to be emotional available to everyone without them giving you some sort of commitment. Okay. If that makes sense. You don't have to give people access to yourself when their behaviors and things are inconsistent. And like I said, you guys, I'm talking about anyone. This could be friendships, this could be lovers. But what I want you to start recognizing with people when you're growing your intuition, when you're learning and standing up for yourself and learning to think from your higher self and the things that you want from yourself versus thinking from your survival and choosing people out of fear. Learn this one thing: behavior is truth, you guys. Okay? Watch what people show you. Do not always give the benefit of the doubt. Do not always go on the philosophy or, oh, this is so sensual or mystical. No, behavior. Okay. How is this person acting? Because what winds up happening almost every time is you wind up abandoning yourself. And that's no bueno. And those are the habits that we are working really hard to get out of now. And you can, but you need those boundaries. You need to recognize those patterns. You need to make sure that people are going to be intentional with you until you decide that they are responsible enough to have that freedom in your life. Okay. And if they're not showing you that they're ever going to get there, that's when you need to put your boundaries up. I tell people all the time, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no most of the time. There are some things that's nuanced and then there's this gray area, but for the most part, and it's for certain things, especially with dealing with others, how you feel about yourself, you should have boundaries around certain things, okay? And I really do want to get to self abandonment, you guys, because um, as women, a lot of times we are conditioned to abandon ourselves, right? We are conditioned to learn growing up how to feed a man, how to treat a man, how to keep your house, and things like that. And a lot of times that leads into our lives with us over explaining and emphasizing certain things or waiting for potential in our partners and accepting those inconsistencies and things when we don't deserve that and we shouldn't. We look at things optimistically and it's like, really, this shit is fucking delusion. Why are we? Because just like a person could potentially be shit, yes, but they could potentially not be shit. So wouldn't it be better to follow yourself, your own heart and things? It's not about giving up on someone else. It's like I said, you are only responsible for you. You want to get yourself on the frequency so that you attract the people, places, and things in your lives that you want, instead of compromising and accepting these people that don't see your value. And you accept these crumbs from people that are emotionally unavailable. Right, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And like I said, a lot of women wind up abandoning themselves trying to preserve a connection that's not even worth preserving. I remember I had this one ex and I had to literally sit with myself, like, if this person does not change, if they stay this way for 10 years from now, 5 years from now, hell, even, would you be okay with this? And it was like, no. And it was like, so then why are you wasting time here? Move on, do what it is that you need to do. And I'm not trying to convince you guys to leave your relationships and things like that. I just want you to stop abandoning yourself for others, abandoning yourself to hold on to a friendship, to hold on to a mate, and things that aren't showing you the consistency and things that you deserve. And you guys, you have to start using your discernment. You can't keep going through these situations blindly. Um, and I'm gonna tell you why, because I want to break this down also. I don't want this message to come across as bitter. All right. And I want you guys to see that no, this is talking about you using your discernment. This is boundaries, not bitchiness, not trying to be cold hearted or I'm going to get back at you or match energies. This is about observing patterns in people and believing, like I said, when people show you who they are the first time. That's one of my biggest lessons that I have learned, is believe them. Okay, not to, like I said, keep going and going. Wait until that version of them catches up. If they change into that version later, great. Maybe if it's worth it, revisit it, but don't sit around waiting on things like that. You should choose intentionally now, because all you have is your present. And if you don't, and you sit and think about the past, all you're going to do is regret it. You're going to have regrets, what you shoulda, coulda, woulda done. And if you think about the future, you're going to have anxiety about the shit you have today. What can you do with today? Is that person worth it today? And I'm not saying it like that, but what are you worth today? Okay. That realization is not to turn you like cold hearted. Like I said, this is just to make you guys discerning, to really think, because that was one of my biggest things, was trusting others to hold me versus me making those decisions for myself. Because like I said, this is all you have, is this avatar, and you've got to take care of it. The inner child, the teenager, all of those versions of you. Um, and this is how you know, like, that your standards finally have caught up to your value, and you'll stop accepting the BS, right? You'll stop wanting, or no, you will start wanting intention from people, right? Like these, you'll have these new level of standards for yourself. You'll start requiring consistency. You will literally seek out people that show integrity versus like, um, people that bullshit you. I'm going to call you like, and it can be small things, you guys, but those inconsistencies will normally lead to bigger things, or those patterns will lead to bigger things. Ladies, we want somebody that's going to make us feel safe, that's going to feed back into us the way that we feed into them, give us reciprocity, that's going to pursue us and do these things on a consistent basis, because this is what we would do, this is what we'll do. And we've got to start learning that if someone really truly wants access to you, if they want access to your body, your softness, your presence, your sensuality, um, if they want access to your energy, right, then they should be intentional. They should show effort, care. Asking for consistency, ladies, is not asking for too much, okay? And respect and things like that should always like come first. And the way to get that though is to give that to yourself. All right. And then watch everything and everyone else, literally, they're going to fall in line with how you treat yourself, how you value you. All right. Love, light, and lingerie. And I will talk to you soon.